I believe, like all Greens believe, that we need to see wealth taxation. There's a little bit more fine tuning that we could do to the income tax system, but it's already very progressive. It raises £1.7 billion more a year than it otherwise would, and that's mostly because of the changes the Greens made, Patrick Harvey and then myself. But we need to look much more at how we effectively tax wealth in this country, primarily land and property, but also how we tax polluting companies as well, and the pollution caused by large landowners who are not looking after their estates. So you could take a really basic wealth tax of the kind that we've proposed before, something like 1% on the total assets of everyone whose assets are more than £1 million or more than £10 million or something like that. Devolution makes things like that challenging to deliver. So for us, what we're primarily talking about is, and most obviously, fix the council tax. It is absurd that we are running a tax system based on property values from before I was born, where most people pay the wrong rate of tax. We wouldn't put up with an income tax system where most people are paying the wrong rate. And yet I proposed amendments a couple of weeks ago in Parliament just to do a revaluation, not to replace the council tax where there would be some ideological disagreement, but just to do revaluation. And every other party voted against that. I don't think it's right that people who are in the largest, most expensive houses in this country are paying barely anything more than the people in the smallest and the least valuable homes. The council tax system has a range of people at the top paying 3 times as much as people at the bottom, despite the fact that people at the top in the Scottish property market have houses that on average are 15 times as valuable as those at the bottom. So when we're talking about those kind of tax reforms, fixing council tax is one of the most obvious ways in which you could do that. You could do it in a cost neutral way. We obviously want to raise more revenue to invest in public services. At the very least, we should be making that system accurate and fixing it so that those with the most pay the most. Because at the moment, the richest people, the people in the biggest properties, are getting away with an absolute steal on the council tax.